Hashem is blessed wherever and ever. Dedicate this to our class. We don't have sponsor today, but we're dedicating it for all the Israeli soldiers and the security forces in Israel and around the world. And for any name you want to mention. Amen. So we're talking about Havdalah today, and I asked just a minute ago, what's Havdalah stand for? So you're saying that you're doing Havdalah every Motzei Shabbos, after Shabbat, right? And I said, you're almost right. I'm going to ask one more time. When do you do Havdalah? Ma? I said that already, right? It's not a full answer. Huh?
The end of Shabbat, when you have 3 stars on the sky.
Saturday evening.
Okay. Sometimes we see, sometimes you see stars before it's really around dusk. Like twilight time, you see stars. Is it time to do Havdalah? No. Sometimes you see stars when someone punches you in the face. You see stars. You see like in the cartoon.
Rabbi Shimon, it's an hour after candlelighting.
Hour after candlelighting?
Candlelighting time.
Okay. I suggest that for everybody, in order to know the time for you to light a candle or to do Havdalah, just follow the Jewish calendar.
Chabad.
One of them could be Chabad. I must make sure that this is the local time. We are using the Maizmanim. Just go to Maizmanim, and it's the most accurate that we found. It covers every city in the world, almost, I think. But Havdalah, it's not limited to after Shabbat. When else do we do Havdalah? After Yom Tov.
This was Yom Tov.
Huh?
Havdalah.
Yeah.
Yom Tov.
After Yom Tov we do Havdalah. Now, what kind of Havdalah is different? On Motzei Shabbat we do it with a candle, with fragrances. Here, this is the sample that we can use. There are different kinds. You can use either, and with wine. Correct? After Yom Tov, we're doing only over wine. Okay? Because the candle, we already learned that. Just go to previous classes, you see the difference between Yom Tov and Shabbat. And the reason why we're doing on Shabbat for a candle and with fragrance to revive the neshama yourself after the other neshama left. And the candle's lighting is related to the fire and Gehenna and hell and all. It's a very interesting topic, but I suggest that you go back to Torah.net and look for these Torah classes. So, Shalom Aleichem. Thank you for coming. I apologize, this class will be a little bit shorter because I know everybody here are fasting. So we can eat today not before 6:10. Okay? 6:10. So, let's talk about Havdalah. We continue where we left off. Last time we talked about Shabbat and Havdalah. The lesson was about the flame during the Havdalah, and we asked questions if a blind person should do yes, no, he doesn't see it. Just go to these previous classes and watch it. Now, there's a question. If I am allowed to eat or drink or to do any type of labor before Havdalah. So, for example, Shabbat over at 6 o'clock. So we daven, 6 o'clock, 6:10, you're out of the shul, and you want to go to your own business, right? You want to open the phone, you want to turn light on, off, air conditioning, whatever you wanted to do before Shabbat, or the things you want to do, you have plans to do after Shabbat, fine. But we still didn't do Havdalah, right? So, most of the people that I know have the custom to do Havdalah at home, which is best. Don't rely on the Havdalah they do in the shul. Okay? For those who doesn't do Havdalah, they can do Havdalah in the shul, fulfill the mitzvah by listening and having in mind to fulfill the mitzvah by listening to the blessings. Fine. But assuming you're going home to do Havdalah, can I do any type of labor before Havdalah? I can do Havdalah from, let's say, Shabbat over at 6:10. 6:10 I can do Havdalah. Okay? Can I do any type of labor, or I have to do Havdalah first? Havdalah comes from the word lehavdil, Havdalah. What's Havdalah refers to in Hebrew? What it means? Give me another word for Havdalah in Hebrew. It means separation, to distinguish. Okay, lehavdil, separation between what? Between Shabbat and the mundane days. Okay, so the Halacha says one cannot do anything before he do Havdalah. What's the reason? Because if you go ahead and go mind your own business, you will forget to do Havdalah. So you always have in mind, hey, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that because I have to do Havdalah. That way you won't remember, you don't forget, you always remember. So what does that mean that I can't do anything? Can I drive back home from shul? Can I turn on my phone? Can I turn on and off lights? Or I have to do Havdalah first?
Havdalah first.
So it seems like I can't drive from the shul. What if I want to do Havdalah not 6:10, I want to do Havdalah 6:30. In the meantime, go ahead and pick up my daughter or my son so they can hear Havdalah, for example, as well. So this kind of thing we're going to discuss. What are the things that we are allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do before Havdalah? All right? Any questions? Okay. What if someone forgot? He woke up in the morning, Sunday, said, oh my goodness, I forgot to do Havdalah. You can still do it, you're saying. What if it happens on Monday?
Yeah.
Monday? Okay. What about Tuesday? Not anymore? Okay. What about Wednesday?
No.
No? So you're saying up to Tuesday, David, right? All right. Let's dig into it. Wow, we have 10 minutes. Eating or performing melachah before reciting Havdalah. What's melachah stand for? Work or any type of labor. After sunset on Saturday evening, it is forbidden to eat anything or to drink any beverage other than water until one has fulfilled the mitzvah of Havdalah. One of the reasons is so you won't forget. If someone had started eating the third Shabbat meal before dusk, so he's eating, all right? And 6:10, let's stick to 6:10. Okay, 6:10 is Motzei Shabbos. Shabbat is over. He has a long Shalosh Sudas, the third Seudah. He look at his watch and it's already 6:20. Shabbat is over. Can he continue eating? Because the time for Havdalah just arrived 10 minutes ago. Can he continue eating? So, if someone had started eating the third meal before dusk, which really usually happens, however, he may continue eating even after nightfall. As explained above, Shimon 91:20. Once he recited Birkat Hamazon, so let's say he finished to eat 6:30 and finished Birkat Hamazon 6:32, okay? It is forbidden for him to eat or drink anything other than water. If someone had eaten the third Shabbat meal earlier in the day, and at sunset he was in the midst of snacking on fruit or cake, he must cease eating. It's not Seudah Shalishit. It's not the third Seudah. You finished the third Seudah around 4 or 5. Now you're just snacking. So times come, you have to stop, close it, and continue after Havdalah. Make sense? Now, someone learned this halacha, and he knows that he can't eat before he's doing Havdalah. So he opened the banana and he says, Baruch ato Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri Adama. He about to bite, and then he said, I didn't do Havdalah. Havdalah. No? Should he bite? Or what should he do?
He should bite.
He should bite. If someone mistakenly recited a blessing over some food or beverage after nightfall, before fulfilling the mitzvah of Havdalah, he must taste a tiny bit of that food or beverage. So, okay, why? Imagine to yourself that you said the bracha, Borei pri Adama, or mezonot, or whatever bracha, and God forbid this bracha, okay, blessing would be uttered, would be in vain. But the halacha says take a tiny bite. Don't take advantage of it, and now in eating slowly the cake or the banana. What happened to you? Well, I said the bracha already. I said bracha, let me finish. No. Just the first bite. All right? First bite. So the blessing won't be in vain. Put it aside, do Havdalah and continue eating. See how important it is. They don't let you finish the food. Okay. Now about melachah. It is forbidden to perform any act of melachah, type of labor, before reciting Havdalah. It is highly recommended that one I didn't finish the first one. So you don't say bracha in vain. If he realizes his mistake while he has food in his mouth, he does not have to spit it out. He should swallow what is in the mouth, and then recite Havdalah. Okay. It's forbidden to perform any act of melachah before reciting Havdalah. It is highly recommended that one refrain even from performing acts that are only rabbinically prohibited on Shabbat. Once one has recited Arvit and added the passage of Atacho Nantanu at the Amidah. At the Amidah we have a part that we're adding always on Motzei Shabbos or Motzei Yom Tov. It's a part that we're saying that Hashem is separating between Kodesh and Mundane. One may perform any act of melachah even before one recites Havdalah over a cup of wine. Okay? This is why you see sometimes people that Shabbat is over, they know Havdalah, but they want to turn light on or light off. It's permitted. It's 6:11. Shabbat over 6:10. So before they turn the light on or off or take the car keys, whatever, so they would say, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Just by saying that, you're declaring the separation, the Havdalah. You still have to do Havdalah, but so you can perform that. If you turn the light on or draw or did anything without saying it, it's still okay, but it's recommended not to. At least when you're saying it, you're showing that you're distinguishing between Shabbat and the regular day, mundane day. If someone forgot to add the passage to the Amidah, it happens all the time that people forget to add Atacho Nantanu. It's part of the Amidah. They ask always the same question. Should I repeat the Amidah, the silent filah? The answer is no. Look at the comment above. It says if you forget, you don't repeat. But technically, he didn't say the separation, and he didn't verbalize it. He didn't verbalize it. Okay, if someone forgot to add the passage to the Amidah, or if he has still not recited Arvit, he didn't daven, and he wishes to perform an act of melachah at this time, let's say for example driving, he must first declare Baruch hamavdil ben kodesh v'chol. That's what we just said. Blessed is he who distinguishes between the sacred and the mundane. Since most women do not recite Arvit regularly, if they wish to perform act of melachah before they hear Havdalah, they must first recite this declaration. Okay, that's another question. If women are obligated to say tefillah or not. It's debatable among the rabbis. Ashkenazim hold they need to do at least 2 tefillot. They should pick 2, recommended Shachrit and Mincha. And Sephardim holds 1 tefillah. It's minimum required, and everyone should have at least 1 tefillah. You can choose between Shachrit, Mincha, or Rit. Recommended Shachrit. Most of Sephardi women do, as far as I saw and I know, I can't say most, but many that I know do at least 2 tefillot. Okay? Shachrit and Mincha or Shachrit and Arvit. But the minimum required by Sfarim is 1. So regularly, women don't say Arvit. If she don't say Arvit, she don't say the part, hamavdil. So she at least have to verbalize it by saying, Baruch hamavdil ben kodesh lecho. Can you say it in English or in Hebrew? Or any other language? Yes. You can say it in any language, as long as you understand what you're saying. There's one part of the tefillah that you must say in Ivrit. One part must be said in Ivrit. What is it? What in Ivrit? Which part in Ivrit we have to say? I'm soon coming. We have 12 people here. No?
Shema?
Shema Israel. Thank you. Always Shema Israel must be said in Ivrit. Let's say it together. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. How many times I'm saying it a day? Minimum 2 in the morning, in the evening. What if I want to say it 3 times, Shema Israel? I want to say it 5 times. I would like to say it right now 3 times. Can I say it?
Sure.
Absolutely. Anytime you say it, you get a mitzvah. Okay? Just so you know. It's not limited to all the tefillah. You know that the Birkat Hamazon that we do on Motzei Shabbos, on Shabbat, is a little bit different than we do on the regular day. If you eat, some have customs also, some don't eat bread all week, only on Shabbat. But assuming you're saying Birkat Hamazon during the week, it's different. There's an addition on Shabbat. Which part we add? The part you add for Shabbat, it says Retzeh ve'achalitzeinu. It's part, it says on Shabbos add this part. Okay. Now one stretch his davening till after Shabbat over 6:10. Right now it's 6:30. He's doing Birkat Hamazon, Mayim Achronim, final water, and then Birkat Hamazon. He wants to do, he says, oh, Shabbat is over. I want to do this and that some type of labor before Birkat Hamazon. Should he do it or shouldn't do it? How is that even related to Birkat Hamazon? So listen to this. Did I finish the first one? Yeah. If it is after dusk, but someone is still in the midst of the 3rd Shabbat meal. It happens sometimes even in the shul. They bring a speaker, and this guy forgot himself, and he started to speak about the moon, the skies, the earth, the Indians, the Columbus conquering America, all these things. Shabbat is already over. If someone forgot if it is after dusk, but someone is still in the midst of his 3rd meal, he should not declare Baruch hamavdil ben kodesh echol. That Hashem, He is separate between the sacred and the mundane. And then perform an act of melachah or answer the telephone. Why? Shabbat is over. But they tell you, no, don't answer the phone. Don't get into the car. Don't turn the light on. Why? If he does, he will no longer be able to add the passage of Retzeh ve'achalitzeinu to Birkat Hamazon, the part that you add on Shabbat. You can because you just did an act that is not permitted on Shabbat. Make sense? So it's better, be organized. Always try to finish your meal before Shabbat is over. It happens to be like that. Finish Birkat Hamazon and then turn to mundane actions. Okay, I didn't do Havdalah and I can't do any type of labor or turn the light or a condition on this. Can I ask a friend that he already had Havdalah to do it for me? Can you turn the light off for me? To turn the light on for me? Can we ask him to do that? I can ask him during Shabbat. Can I ask my friend during Shabbat to turn the light on for me? Shabbat I can't. because Shabbat, I'm supposed to keep Shabbat, I can't. So obviously not. But this after Shabbat, he already had Havdalah. So it says the following: even while someone has not yet recited Havdalah and he may not perform melachah himself, he may request another Jew who has already recited Havdalah to perform an act of melachah, and he may benefit from that act even before he recites Havdalah himself. Okay? You know what? Let's finish really quickly this to halachot and we finish for today. Okay. Well, just as it is forbidden to perform acts of melachah before Havdalah, it is forbidden to pray for any of one's personal needs until one recite the passage of Ata Honantano. It's part of the tefillah. You know that in the tefillah we are adding our own private requests. Most of the siddurim today already have it. You see it that they are in it. The font are a little bit smaller. Okay, let's say all the fonts are number 10, so that will be 8. So you can distinguish between what you're supposed to say or what you can add. So someone asks for livelihood, for speedy recovery, whatever. It's highly recommended that one, just in general, will add his own private tefillah during the Amidah. It's time that it's you and Hashem, and take advantage of it. And don't just read from the Siddur. The Talmud teaches us that the person should be mechadesh, should always bring something new to the table. Ask for this or ask for that, or thank Hashem for what He did for you. Every day something else, something new, small, short, brief. Okay, that's where you show that you're not a robot. You just go there, you read from the text, and you finish. You get a check mark, finish. Right? Now the question is, if I forgot, I didn't do Havdalah. Not Motzei Shabbos, not Sunday, not Monday. Can I compensate for it? So the Halacha says, if someone failed to recite Havdalah on Saturday night, whether he forgot it or was prevented from fulfilling the mitzvah, many poskim ruled. What's poskim? What's poskim? What's posek? What's psak? Psak means the verdict. The rabbi that set up the halachot, that write the halachot for us in every generation. Okay, so posek is singular, poskim it's the plural way to say it. Poskim. Poskim. Yiddish way to say the pasken. They pasken that, meaning the halacha. The halacha was set as so and so. So we're going to say this word many times. The poskim in the plural. So many poskim. Who's the poskim? The rabbi that said the halacha, right? Many poskim ruled that he may still recite Havdalah until sunset on Tuesday evening. There are poskim, however, who ruled that it is possible to compensate for Havdalah only until sunset of Sunday evening, and that after that he may no longer recite the blessing of Havdalah in full with God's name. He can only recite it without God's name. Baruch atah, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah, But listen, just finish. Let me finish. And therefore, he cannot recite it between the blessing of borei peri hagafen and drinking the wine. Instead, he should hold the cup in his hand, recite the abridged blessing of Havdalah first, then the full blessing over the wine, and then drink it immediately. Okay, this is an opinion. In practice, what do we do in practice? You forgot. Motzei Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. In practice, we follow the Shulchan Aruch, who ruled that one may recite the blessing of Havdalah in full at any time until sunset or Tuesday evening. All the poskim, what's the reason? In the Kabbalah it says that the light, or the Kedusha, of Shabbat influence and gives power all the way to Tuesday. And from Tuesday evening, which is already Wednesday, it goes toward, it's attached to Shabbat, the coming Shabbat. In practice, it follows Shulchan Aruch, holding on Tuesday evening. Okay. All the poskim agreed. Who is the poskim? All the poskim agree that if a person who failed to recite Havdalah did not eat or drink since Shabbat ended, he can still recite the blessing of Havdalah in full anytime on Sunday night. He didn't eat, for example, it was a fast day, or he was fasting before doctor's examination or checkup, procedure, something like that, or whatever, he's just on diet. This is the common custom even when the fast of Tisha B'Av occurs on Saturday night, on Sunday, to recite Havdalah on Sunday night. It's not limited to someone that accidentally forgot. It's also included one that purposely didn't do Havdalah for whatever reason. He says, I'll do it later, I have to go here, I have to go. He's purposely he's postponing it. You still have the chance to do it. Let me just summarize it because it's really late now and I know you're fast, you want to go to eat. When you do Havdalah and you plan to do the fourth Seudah or you want to eat after Havdalah, don't bring anything to the table till you finish the Havdalah. Okay, but if accidentally you brought bread, pita, you have to cover it, kind of like we do in the Kiddush. Because we have to follow the order. And the order in the Pasuk is wheat first and then grapes. This is one of the reasons why we're covering the bread on Shabbat. Because you're saying bracha, you know what I'm talking about the Pasuk, Eretz, Chita, Seorah, the 7 species that the land of Israel was blessed with. So if you have to follow the order in the Pasuk, okay, who comes first? You eat figs first or you eat pomegranate? Just follow the order. So wheat, it's first. It starts Eretz Chita, the land of wheat. And then it says later in the Pasuk about grapes. So when I have pita and a glass of wine, I have to do the pita first, or the bread. And then only on Shabbat, we do the opposite. Because we have to start with Kiddush, we have to start with wine, we have to cover the bread. We learned that, right? Already. So if you do it again, it's Havdalah now. Someone brought to the table bread, cover it, and then say the Havdalah. In a nutshell, recommendation, leave the table clean, do your Havdalah, and then attend to whatever you plan to attend to. Don't mix these worlds. In Judaism, there's order. Everything is in order. Everything has to be in line. You don't pay attention to it. But if you examine and you dig into it, you'll see that everything is so accurate. There's a reason why this comes before this one, and this one comes before. So in the tefillot, so in the blessing, so in everything we do, shoelace, right, left, and then you shoelace the left and then the right. Everything is in order. Okay, there's a reason for all that. Any questions? On behalf of Have Israel Foundation, I want to bless each and every one of you, that all of us, Be'ezrat Hashem, won't need to fast again the 10th of Tevet, because Mashiach will come, he built the Beit HaMikdash, and this day will turn from a fast day to a celebration, to a holiday that we all can eat and drink and be joyful. Thank you, everybody. Just a reminder, next class going to be Shabbat, 9:30. We're going to continue about Avodah Zarah and closing about the Christmas and other not Jewish holidays. Shavua Tov.
Amen. Same to you, Rabbi. Thank you for the class.
Shabbat tov. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat tov.
Shavua Tov.